Jared Thompson, Kentucky delegation.
David Davis, UN.
Crime is an unfortunate part of society, one that will never be eliminated completely. But we as a society must work to combat it in the most fair and efficient way possible. I submit to this General Assembly that capital punishment is the antithesis of fair and efficient and therefore must be abolished. The death penalty serves as nothing but a detriment to our society, economically and socially. A report released by the California Commission on the Fair Administration of Justice revealed that the extra cost of incarcerating a death row inmate compared to a life sentence inmate amounted to about $90,000 per inmate per year, or $63.3 million annually for the state of California alone. This kind of spending is atrocious, and $63.3 million could do a lot of good preventing future crimes instead of prosecuting past ones. And, according to the ACLU, $50 million was cut from victim services in 2009. Crimes are heinous, some more than others. This has never been contested, and crime should carry a punishment in a swift and timely manner. And with the way capital court cases work right now, they serve to do nothing but bog down our court system with hearing after hearing and appeal upon appeal, and this makes our court system as a whole inefficient.
Hazeman. Further, the death penalty is inhumane. It clearly violates all of your rights to be free from cruel and unusual punishment as protected to you by the U.S. Constitution. Further, it violates the UN Charter of Human Rights, which that's kind of a big deal. It applies worldwide. Even within our own nation, states like Idaho and Utah, they still legalize firing squads to kill people. We even have legalized hanging in some states. We didn't even hang criminals against us like Saddam Hussein. We sent them out of the country for that because we acknowledge that it's inhumane and not civil for us to do so anymore. There are currently 3,300 inmates on death row. But you know what? 1 in 7 of them are innocent. That means we're condemning 470 innocent lives to death simply because our juries have made a mistake. Further, when these innocent people are sitting on death row for up to 2.5 decades as they go through the lengthy and expensive appeals process, they're simply wasting their time and we're squandering their lives. We're punishing them in cruel and unusual ways, which eventually will end their life. We need to abolish this institution in the United States. And I'd like to reserve the remainder of the time for my summation.
Grant List from Kentucky. All right, these authors do have a very good idea of where they're going, but it is too far. There is an extreme version. This is a very extreme version. Capital punishment was made for capital crimes. We need to keep it to ensure the fair and just service. That's what America is about. I'd like to read you a quote by a very famous person named Gandhi. An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Okay? This is not an eye for an eye, it's an eye for 20, 100 eyes. So it is a very just system. Another thing, when a human steals another human's natural rights, they forfeit their own. They are, in fact, forfeiting what life is about. Another thing, maybe not that big, inmate danger. These people are capital people, capital dangers. They cannot be trusted to not repeat in any form they can. The death penalty was made for life offenders, so thus it is a retribution from life, people who respect life, on those that wish to destroy it, or in fact do not respect life in any form. The process of death, say, giving, might be inhumane now, but it can be changed. There are other forms, as the authors have so clearly stated. There's been past forms that were maybe less humane, but way easier, way cheaper, and just better. Okay. The dead live on. This is a quote that maybe some have heard. This is in memory, not reality. These people are still on the earth, still in imminent danger. They provide just a feeling of contempt from other inmates, as well as a feeling of danger from these inmates since these capital people are willing to do this stuff. Here's a little just story. A 15-year-old teen one day hears about a murderer. The next year, he learns that the murderer coldly slaughtered 10 people. 6 months later, he learns the punishment is life imprisonment. Now, the kid grows old and now works with 10 people he doesn't really like. He doesn't want to die for killing them. Now he knows he won't, in fact, have very severe consequences. He also is fine with...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nicholas Collins from New York. Ladies and gentlemen, an eye for an eye does make the whole world blind, and we have become blind to the grave injustices that the justice system has been committing. There are many things wrong with capital punishment. I do not personally believe that nobody deserves to die. I will not stand here and tell you that it is myself, my own personal belief that nobody deserves to die. However, one individual is not the arbiter of the lives of all people, and the government should not try to be either. In fact, we declare that every human has the right to life, and that it is, no matter what, unalienable. The government especially should not take it away. Now let's examine the goals of capital punishment. Ultimate punishment to those who commit the most heinous crimes, deterrence of future crimes, and saving the taxpayers' money on jails. Those who commit these crimes should face more punishment than the release of death, and even if it is government sanctioned, one individual killing another is inhumane. Deterrence. A study done by the University of Michigan into history and social studies of today and the past has shown that in no time in its thousands of years of history of use has capital punishment ever deterred similar crimes, even when public trials and killings were done in the French Reign of Terror and Stalin's USSR. And finally, it is much more costly to the taxpayers to keep a person on death row and eventually use the resources needed to kill them than it does to house them in jail for life. Some states even go further to make it inhumane, using methods such as hanging and firing squad. And capital punishment is also discriminating against minorities. People have poor recollection after traumatic events. The victim is likely to describe a minority who is over 6 feet tall, and with the 20% inaccuracy of DNA testing, wrongful convictions happen all the time. I agree that people deserve harsh punishments for heinous crimes. Solitary confinement, lack of leisure benefits, even poor treatment by guards, I think we can tolerate. The government should not be killing people.
I'm sorry,